Voices is more of a boss fight than it is an actual mission. There is some stealthing at the beginning, but it's very easy to avoid almost all of it. And I mean avoid, like go completely around it. So we're going to be doing that. What I'm taking doesn't really matter because I am going to get no traces on this mission for once. And I'm going to be doing it without Fultoning out the boss, which is the normal way you would get no traces. You would kind of lure the boss into incapacitating himself and then Fulton him out and then you can leave easily. I'm going to have to leave while he's still active, so that will be a small challenge. First thing I'm going to do is skip the station and put some markers in the rough areas of the places that I need to go in order to evade most of the outposts. Because going through the station is unnecessary, you don't need to even do that, and it's a major base. It's just a pain. There's a canyon up here that will take you straight to one of the guard posts. You do have to be careful when you're going through here because sometimes there are mines, but in this case it doesn't look like I got any. I'm just going to skirt around the corner here of this outpost, this guard post, and then head for the highlands here. There's a second guard post. It's more like a tent and a chain link fence, but it is difficult to get through without dealing with the guards. But fortunately you don't actually need to go through the chain link fence, even though it looks like it's kind of like a zone barrier of sorts. You can get up here into the highlands and just skip it. Ocelot will mention it, but I'm not actually looking at it, but it was off to my left somewhere. Then you're supposed to go into this canyon and sneak through the canyon, through the mist to the Ngumba Industrial Zone, but instead I'm just going to go past the canyon, up into these highlands, and down and around. Now there are some wild dogs, they will attack you, but for whatever reason, when animals attack you, using CQC to get them off doesn't count as an interaction, and it won't violate no traces, so we're still good. You could probably avoid them, but it's very difficult to do. They'll jump right on you as soon as you get into that area. And then that will take us to the edge of the canyon area, and once we get under this log, we are basically home free. There will be no more regular enemies for the rest of the mission. So we just head through this tunnel and into the industrial zone.
There's a lot of erosion in that tunnel. Could come down any minute. Watch your step.
Now note the two water towers, and then there's this kind of like warehouse thing over here. The warehouse is important. I'm going to need this for the boss to basically manipulate his AI in order to survive the extraction. It's a little hard to explain, but don't worry about it. And the water towers will also be useful for various reasons. So we're going to come in here to the Devil's House, and there's two cutscenes. One's just a random guy, which you can actually skip that cutscene by shooting him from outside the room, but I don't know why you would, because I think that counts as a kill, and it's an easy cutscene to skip. You can just skip it after a couple seconds there. And then there's the cutscene with Shivani, which we're also going to skip, because cutscenes do cut into your mission time, and this isn't really a story run anyway. So if you're going for score, you want to skip as many cutscenes as possible, because the less time that is spent in cutscenes, the shorter the mission will be. So we'll skip this as soon as it allows us, and that will show us the man on fire. So we have to get away from him. We don't technically have to defeat him, but incapacitating him briefly will be helpful in just getting him to lose track of me. I accidentally ran into fire there, but that thing collapses too, so you kind of don't want to run straight under it unless you know exactly the right time to dive. What I'm going to do, though, is run over here to this first water tower, and yeah, the man on fire is appearing right there. And that's good, because I want to kind of keep the water tower between him and me. As soon as he tries to attack me, he will instead destroy the water tower, which will douse him in water. And under normal rules, what you would do at this point is simply extract him with a Fulton, and then you could leave through the tunnel. I can't do that because I can't Fulton under these rules, so instead I'm going to have to run for the tunnel so that he'll collapse it, which is what happens if he remains active at the time. And then I'm going to need to try and lose him. So I'm going to run into this warehouse area, run up here to the loft, until he's kind of not aware of me anymore. The thing is, the man on fire does kind of know where you are, and he will walk towards where he first last saw you, and then he'll kind of walk gradually towards your location. We need to exploit that. So he's lost sight of me. Now, it doesn't mean that he's not aware of my location. So he is going to turn around and start walking into that warehouse. And that's where I want him. Because if he attacks Pequod, he can destroy it in like 2 fireballs, and that will kill me and end the mission. So I need to have him in a position where he will not have either not have line of sight to Pequod, be attacking something else, or miss me. And that's a little difficult, but I did work it out. So I've called Pequod over here. The man on fire is approaching through the warehouse there. And he will, I think he starts trying to shoot at Pequod, but he ends up, his shots home in on things, and I think he ends up homing in on the Jeep instead, because you'll see him shoot a fireball kind of high here, but it will end up hitting the Jeep instead. And that's fine. I'd rather it hit the Jeep than Pequod, obviously. So what I need to do is get on the chopper. I should have gotten on there slightly earlier, because I think Pequod takes one hit here in a minute. On the way out. That's the bad news. The good news is that, yeah, that's the one that Pequod takes, but one more hit would destroy Pequod, but that hit there shot the water tower. That one missed. That one hit a tree. That one I think also missed because of just Pequod's turning animation. And now he doesn't have line of sight to me, so he has to walk over here to shoot at me again. But he's going to hit, I think, the corner of the building. Yeah, so just by luck of his AI, well, not luck so much as manipulation of his AI, he wasn't able to shoot me at all. And that'll get no traces without actually needing to extract him.